Stephen here again from Lawyers of Tomorrow, and I'm here to pick up on the series of student engagement videos. This is number 2. We've already looked at the first one, which was knowledge, acquiring legal knowledge, applied legal knowledge. And what we're going to look at today is acquisition of skill sets. So how to engage with your session, putting as much energy as you can in it to maximize the outputs you get in terms of skill sets. So what sort of skills am I talking about? I'm talking about, well, presentation skills, standard communication skill there for a lawyer, teamwork, being able to work with your team, another interpersonal skill, commercial skills, being able to demonstrate an understanding of commercial reality. I'm going to touch upon that in a later video. Let's focus though on the key interpersonal and lawyerly types of skills like presentations and so forth. So what's the problem? Well, as a tutor, what you find is that in your law classes there are a number of students who get it and who really try to practice their skills. And what I would say that they are into what you need, which is lawyer mode. I'm in lawyer mode, and my job is to communicate complex ideas, to communicate them to other people. Maybe I'm standing up by the whiteboard and communicating something, presenting to the whole class. It involves a bit of public speaking, definitely. It can make you nervous when you first do it, but it's a key skill to have. Some students just get it and they think, I'm going to go in there, and they're the ones who step forward in the class, and they're the ones who volunteer to speak because they get it. They understand that every single time that they have to explain something, their brain is getting more and more used to the idea of presentations, standing up in front of people and having the whole group of people look at you. It can be nerve-wracking until you get used to it. It's the idea that they are pushing their comfort zone, so all of a sudden they are so comfortable with speaking that when they get to that assessment day, when they get to that interview, they're very comfortable doing a presentation. That's what I want to see, and you get a certain number of people in a class who do that. And then you get the others who don't speak that much, the others who make notes, who don't take that opportunity to practice these skill sets. And I would say that they are stuck in what I call student mode, which is I'm in a class, I'm listening to my tutor, and I don't have to speak, so I'm not going to. Maybe they're shy, maybe they're not. Maybe they haven't done the work, but they sit there and they're not really prepared to make the effort to speak up. What they do is they sit there when it comes time to present on a subject. They're the ones sitting there looking around. Well, who's going to answer? I don't want to answer. They often look down like this. They're stuck in student mode and they are missing out on an opportunity, because eventually this person wants to be in an assessment day, in an interview where, in the modern interview scenario, assessment day scenario, you are going to be asked to present, and they've missed out on the opportunity to stand up and practice in a risk-free environment where the tutor is more than happy to see them succeed and will just nudge them in the right direction and say, that's a good presentation. Have you thought about this, that, and the other? So that's why I would say, when you're in a class, even though you're a little bit nervous, push your envelope of comfort zone that you're sitting in and push it out further. Every time you volunteer to do the presentation, every time you try and explain it to the rest of the class, you will get more comfortable at public speaking. The next point is in terms of how you go about explaining things. What you want to really focus on is, I think, what you want to focus on is, rather, a lot of students who do make presentations to me, rather than focusing on trying to explain to the tutor to make sure the tutor understands that you understand something, rather than doing that, what it's better to try and do is think, okay, rather than trying to get that person, that tutor, to understand what I know, what I'm going to try and do is try and make sure that I explain things in such a way that if the person I'm speaking to doesn't know anything about this, they will understand. And that's a completely different skill set. On the one hand, you're saying, right, well, I'm explaining to you just to show that you know I know. But that's two lawyers speaking to each other. The real skill, the exceptional skill, is can you explain it in such a way that a person who is listening to you, who knows nothing about it, can they then understand from what you're saying, can they understand the position? And I think it's what really helps here is when you're trying to explain things, rather than using lots of jargon, is trying to explain something to the person in very simple terms, using the facts of a particular scenario. So that's what I would say when you're doing presentations. There will be times when you're just discussing legal points as if it's two lawyers together, and you can use lots of jargon then. But then there will be other situations where on the factual scenario, you've been told to, for example, advise Claire. And you think, right, well, Claire's the client. She doesn't know anything about this. So when you do your presentation to the rest of the class, what you're looking to do is always explain the law to Claire, using the facts of the scenario that you've been given and trying to do it and so it is clear, it's reasonably simple, and you, at the end of that explanation, it is clear that Claire is going to understand, even though, to start with, Claire knew none of the law on it. So that's why I would say on presentation skills, two elements: practice being able to talk to other lawyers when you're doing jargon, and then also practice the much more tricky skill, which is, can I explain it to someone in such a way that they go from a position of knowing nothing about the law to actually understanding how it affects them in their situation. Okay, that's the end of this video on looking at student engagement on skills. The next one, looking at my list, is going to be looking at confidence. Okay, thanks very much. If you like this video and you're watching on YouTube, then feel free to subscribe to the Lawyers of Tomorrow channel and also like. Okay, thanks very much. Take care. Bye-bye.